Hi, I'm Arthur Priester. I'm 13 years old and I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. So I started drawing whenever I was 4. I would watch SpiderMan. He was popular back then in Brazil. And I would draw on the walls or on paper because I felt like showing my parents how much I loved SpiderMan, so I drew him on paper and on walls. This is my oldest sketchbook. It's from 2014, and I was in 1st grade. I would draw a bunch of faces in here. This is a nice face. And I would just like draw these like every day, like 4 pages a day. I wouldn't take it seriously, I would just like draw for fun. And this is Spider-Man. I would number the pages too. Like this is the 9th page, apparently. This is a very old sticker. I have a self-portrait in here somewhere. Let me find it. Oh, okay. Here's my best self-portrait ever. And my only self-portrait, I think. I love this sketchbook so much. It was whenever I started taking art seriously. It was very fun because I would actually try drawing. So I would take every page seriously. I still drew kind of bad, but you know, I would try. This is Spider-Man. I still love Spider-Man and I still do. I would also draw a lot during recess and lunch during elementary school because it was my favorite thing to do. And back then, I was very into skateboarding, so I would design like shapes and boards for skateboarding, and it was very fun. This sketchbook is what made me what I am today. This was whenever I got into Copics, so the sketchbook is very colorful and very expensive because they're expensive. I was also into Fortnite a lot, so I would draw Fortnite stuff also. I would also invent my own Fortnite skins, so it's my Fortnite skin. This was a big turning point. After this, everything looks awesome because it was when I started using references. This is Spider-Man. I watched a tutorial. This was after I watched Into the Spider-Verse, and that movie made me love Spider-Man way more than I did. So I really got into Spider-Man, and I started taking his drawing seriously. Like before, they were only stick figures, and now I would do like the webbing and stuff. So with my white gel pen. My dad loved this drawing so much, he considered using it as an album cover. So he was proud of it, and so was I. It's my first drawing with like a bunch of details, like small details, so. So for this sketchbook, I was into robots a lot, so I would draw them all the time. But what I don't like about this sketchbook is that I wouldn't use references, so they'd all just be bland and this kind of the same. I was also watching Star Wars, and I drew K250, I think that's his name, 2SO. It was my birthday, so I drew a clown with a balloon. And this is also my first sketchbook where I got into color pencils. And I bought a toned sketchbook to experiment with highlights and all that good stuff. I would rush these drawings because I would try to draw one every day, so they kind of all have like the same shape and design. They were all like men standing up, same position, and it was kind of getting boring. I drew this while sleeping, not sleeping, but like whenever I was on the bed. So it looks kind of rushed because it was, but I tried doing some cool stuff with ink. My first time using ink. Whenever I don't like a drawing, I don't like leave it unfinished or like rip the paper to show that it's unfinished and hated. I would watch a bunch of ZHC, like a rich YouTuber, and he would like draw hypebeast robots too, so I kind of got influenced by him. This is my character. He's called Inks, I think. He's just like a monster made out of ink, so he's pretty glowy. This was the first drawing that I did in the quarantine, so I was very bored, and I thought of drawing a clown, so I drew a clown. This page is interesting. I spent the entire afternoon drawing this, and I liked how it turned out because of the tentacles, so. And this is the final drawing of this sketchbook. I started liking realism a lot, so this is whenever I started drawing realistic stuff with color pencils. This was when I started using references, and it's why this is my favorite sketchbook, at least one of them. I would copy this one artist called Creature Box, and I kind of copied his style, which is what made the sketchbook so great. So I copied to his drawings, and I kind of learned his style, so I would turn my own ideas into his style. It's my SpongeBob shirt. It doesn't fit me anymore, but it did then. I would also draw realistic stuff with a thick white outline because I thought it would make it stand out somehow, and it kind of worked. So, and I was also into drawing glass. This is my latest sketchbook. I just finished it, and I focused on making each page special in its own way. When I pick things to draw, I usually pick difficult objects, mostly humans, and I turn them special in their own way. Like for this one, I drew a bunch of stuff around it to give it its own character, because I felt like it was kind of boring by itself. So I covered the feet because I felt like they were too hard to draw. I put a pistol in his hand, and I gave him a clown costume thing. These are some notes of my art class. In this sketchbook, I also got into skulls a lot, so you'll see a bunch of skulls. So for this drawing, I labeled every human muscle with the goal to learn all the muscles. This is from a figure drawing session, which I inked after I got home. And I tried drawing a comic book page, and it didn't work out that well. I kind of like finessed the first three, but then I kind of gave up on the other ones. So I drew these statues after going to the Getty Museum with my art class. I focused on making this page feel special by drawing different objects with like different meanings on it. Like here is a skull with a hat. This is a hand and another skull. I felt like drawing multiple things on a page would make it look better, so I kept doing it. And in this sketchbook, I improved my line skills, my line work, and I got into watercolor a lot, so I loved watercolor. So I felt like drawing my first vinyl record, which was the Eminem Marshall Mathers LP, and it's a pretty good album. For this page, I was using acrylic to paint a robot, and before this painting, I kind of despised acrylic because of how fast it dried, but I realized that it was fun for sketchbooks, so I tried using it for sketchbooks, and it actually kind of worked out. But I'm not done yet. For this page, I was watching a movie while painting, so I tried to make it as simple as possible. So I painted Baby Yoda with watercolor. For this page, I tried learning some more technical skills like the planes of the head, the muscles, and how to draw a hand. My friend had just gotten new shoes, so I felt like drawing them because I liked them a lot. And I tried inking for the first time with a brush pen. This is a drawing of Tupac, although it doesn't look like him. It's his bandana. It's his skull because he passed away. And he was writing a song. The things that inspire me to draw are what I see and what I hear, like music that I listen to or my environment. Things that I see, like cool sculptures or like cool art books, tend to give me inspiration, and inspiring songs also help a lot. My sketchbook is important to me because I don't always like doing serious stuff. Like I don't always like painting with oil paint because it's, it can get hard sometimes. So painting things I see and like on my sketchbook is like a break from oil painting. After I finish high school, I want to go to art center, and I want to learn how to draw bodies, human bodies, and I want to perfect that skill. And I want to become a comic book artist or an animator. Thank you for watching this episode of Sketchbook Diaries. Make sure you check out our next episode with our homie Talin. You're putting music over this thing, right?
It's just going to be sounds of me going beep boop bobble beep. Can
you imagine?
Yeah, can you put that?
It's not a song, it's just like...
It'd be dope.